Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Rapid Fire, Week 14 in the NFL. With your boy, Anthony Roman, got war ready.
Yes, sir.
With me on this one. So what we're doing tonight is we are going to go ahead and go over Week 14 and our bowl predictions and picks. So we'll go ahead and we'll start off with Warren. Tony, go ahead and hit us with those games.
Cowboys at Bears.
Cowboys at Bears on Thursday. Cowboys, they was embarrassed on Thanksgiving, to say the least. They was embarrassed.
I wasn't surprised.
What Buffalo did to them? I mean, they was undressed in front of the whole national TV, in front of your Thanksgiving plate with dressing.
Zeke had his Wingstop turkey in the locker room.
I see that.
They didn't give him no on-field turkey.
But no, back to the game. This is a must-win. Jason Garrett, I mean, that fool's in a lot of hot water right now. I don't foresee this guy being in Dallas at the end of the season. Jerry Jones has been in front of a mic pretty much after every week and even in between weeks. So I don't really know who's going to win this one, man. I think I'm probably going to lean towards – because the Bears have been playing well lately, of late. I'm going to go with the Cowboys in a close one, in a must-win situation. I think they'll go on the road and they'll get the dub. They'll beat Chicago.
I want to go ahead and choose the Cowboys, but I feel because the way that Miami whooped on Philly on Sunday, that this really it kind of took that pressure off the Cowboys to go ahead and know that it is a must-win, right? There was Michael Bennett. He was the one calling out players. Like there was shouting and yelling and arguing going on after the Bills game on Thanksgiving. But it was Michael Bennett that was calling people out. And this is a brand new dude at the team.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't even been with the team for not even a month, I think.
Yeah, he's a guy that don't wear shoulder pads.
Yeah, doesn't wear shoulder pads. But he's calling the people out. I want to say on this one, it's going to be the Bears by a slim margin. The only thing that's really questionable to me is that Prince is out, one of the DBs on Chicago. So that's going to be interesting to see what Amari and Dak can do. I know Dak kind of emerged as the leader and shows why he's a leader off of what he said. We're done talking. Look at what talking's done to us. We just got to go out there and do what we need to do.
Absolutely.
I want to choose the Cowboys on this one, but it's the famous saying, what can go wrong will go wrong.
I hope you're right, man.
So I got the Bears on this one.
Colts at Buccaneers.
This to me is a coin flip game. I really don't respect Indianapolis. I believe they lost last week. I can't remember who they played last week, but I think they took an L last week. But Tampa Bay, I mean, they're just that typical roller coaster. You don't know what you're going to get week to week. But I expect Tampa Bay to take care of business at home. Indianapolis is in the playoff hunt with Houston, so. But I think I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay's like they're like on a surge at the end of the year, so they're like playing well. I think Jameis is saving himself to have future seasons in Tampa Bay because he's actually playing well right now. So I'm gonna roll with Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay to beat the Colts.
Bruce Arians actually came out and said that he's not committed to Jameis being the starter next year.
Oh, wow.
So he has a lot to go ahead and play for. I mean, we're in Week 14. We only have a handful of games left. So, this dude has to ball out. He didn't do bad last week, but that's not saying too much. I like Tampa Bay in this one. It's going to be interesting because, Rojo got pulled out the game. And Arian said it was because he missed the blitz pickup. And he pulled him from the game. So I don't know who they're going to run this week, if they're going to run Barber, if they're going to run Rojo. But the way that Godwin and Evans can go ahead and pull it off, I can see Tampa Bay. I think they lost the receiver, too. I think Pascal now is going to be their number one, back to being their number one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a ton of injuries this year. Receivers, T.Y. Hilton playing? Or he's still questionable?
I think he's still questionable.
Okay.
And then Jonathan last week didn't do anything. So, yeah, I got Tampa Bay on this one.
Ravens at Bills.
As you've seen last week, we
You what?
Buffalo, man. Going through their schedule, I didn't know. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. They haven't, to me, they haven't proven anything up to this point. I mean, it depends how much value you put in that Cowboys win. I mean, that was a big win for them on a big stage to win in Dallas Stadium. This one, I think they're going to get exposed this week. We see last week with Baltimore. Baltimore's no joke. You know what I mean? They're a team that's on a mission. Lamar's on a mission. John Harbaugh's on a mission. This team looks like a well-oiled machine, and as long as Lamar stays healthy, this is going to be a team to be reckoned with pretty much during playoff time. So I fully expect him to go into Buffalo and pretty much take them apart and manhandle them. But yeah, I'm rolling with Baltimore.
This is my upset pick of the week. Nope. And I want the Ravens to go ahead and take it all the way. You know how big I am on the Ravens. This is my huge upset pick of the week.
Can you look at the camera and say that?
I'm looking right into it, and I'm saying this is legitimately my upset pick of the week. I know that Buffalo's running defense is not the greatest. Their DBs are a lot better than what people give them credit for. But that's not to say that Lamar has a whole lot of top-notch arsenal with receivers. But this is going to be my huge upset of the week. So you say wow. You said wow when I chose the Ravens to beat the Pats. You said wow when I chose the Ravens to beat the Niners.
Well,
you said wow when I chose the Ravens to beat Houston. You've said wow this whole time. And the 1 week, and it's funny, the 1 week that you always say, oh, well, they need to come back down to reality.
They do, but not this week.
I think this is the game, the only other game this season that they're going to go ahead and lose. I mean, the Pats just lost. This division is still really close. I really feel, and I hate to say it, I feel that Mark Ingram and Lamar still going to have a good day. It's not going to fall upon the hands of Lamar losing. I just think that somehow it's going to be something with the Ravens defense, and I think Josh Allen can somehow pull this off, and it's going to be a slight win. But I think Buffalo is the upset of the week.
I'm going to keep a close eye on this one.
Yep.
Okay, we'll see.
Me too.
We'll see.
Lions at the Vikings.
So Minnesota had a tough loss against Seattle on Monday night. They actually played well. I actually like Minnesota. A lot of people are banging on Minnesota, and they're banging on Kirk Cousins. They say he's not the real deal, but I like Kirk Cousins. I know he hasn't ever won a Monday Night Football game in his whole career, which is kind of crazy to think of. But I like the way Kirk Cousins is playing, especially without Adam Thielen. You know, Adam Thielen has been out for quite a few games now, maybe like going on 3-4 games now. Mm-hmm. So for them to, keep it together, and I think they were on a winning streak up until this point, until the Seattle game. So I like Minnesota to get back on the winning track. I know Dalvin Cook came out and he said that he's healthy. He's going to play. I believe he had like a little shoulder issue in the Seattle game, but he said he fully expects to play. And I expect Minnesota to get back on track and keep this division race close with Green Bay. So I'm rolling with Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going with Minnesota also. I mean, they started to come back at the end of that Seattle game. They came back a couple weeks ago against the Broncos as well. Mm-hmm. They were able to go ahead and beat Dallas and stop that run game with Zeke. At this point, there's still no Kerryon Johnson. They're on their third-string quarterback, Blau. He didn't look too bad, though. I'll give it to him. As for a third-stringer, I think he posted up better numbers than Trubisky.
And they got Bo, right? Bo Scarborough, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Bo.
Yep. But you still have Galladay, you still have Jones Jr. But I think with this Minnesota defense and with the way that they've been balling, I'm with Minnesota.
Redskins at the Packers.
Washington made this game interesting based off the past 2 weeks. Man, like I didn't expect them to win last week in Carolina. Like that one was, I didn't foresee that one happening at all. And I guess that is the ultimate reason why Rivera was fired. Because
One of them, yeah.
I mean, you get Washington on the schedule. They're having a bad year. They have a rookie quarterback. You should win the game, especially in your own backyard. You have Christian McCaffrey, Samuels, Moore. I mean, you have more talent than them. You got to win the football game. So, man, I don't know. Washington, they're playing well right now. I don't think I could pick an upset in this one. I don't know though, man, because these is like last week. I would have never picked Washington to beat Carolina. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on this one. It might be a coin flip, to be honest. I mean, how do you see it?
Nah, Green Bay. Without question. Green Bay, all the way. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, this is one of the easier last couple weeks that he has on the schedule. You're talking about number 12, man.
True.
You're talking about the great Aaron Rodgers, Ron, discount, double check. I see that he's going to torch this defense.
He should.
So you have a healthy Aaron Jones. They're at home. So Jamal Williams is in there. You have everyone is pretty much healthy at this point. There's no one that they're missing like that on their offensive weapons. Their defense has been not bad whatsoever. They've had their ups and downs, but they've been steady. I'd say through the whole season. So for me, without question, it's Green Bay.
I think you convinced me. I think I'll probably roll with Green Bay, but although Washington has a kid at the end, Montez Sweat, that's starting to make a name for himself. So
he was just in that Old Spice commercial.
Yeah. So you convinced me. I'll roll with Green Bay to take care of business.
Broncos at the Texans.
Denver. I just feel like they're on a downwards trend. In Houston. They have to win as many games as possible to solidify themselves. I mean, because they're in a race right now with Indianapolis. So, and they had a big win last week against the Patriots, giving them that was the Patriots' second loss of the season or third loss of the season. Mm-hmm. So, Houston should take care of business. I like Houston to win this game. I think they're starting to peak at the right time. Right when we're getting close to the whole playoff picture and everything. So I'm rolling with Houston. I think Watson should have a good game. Fuller, Hopkins, Nuke, they should ball out. So I'm rolling with Houston.
There's actually, I don't know how true this is, but I was seeing stories that J.J. Watt possibly can come back in the playoffs.
They're gonna need. That'll be big for them. That'll be big
for them to make this little last stretch push to go ahead and really get into the playoffs. I think they have all the capability in the world right now.
That'll be big for them.
They're coming off a big win against the Pats.
Yep.
Granted, the Pats, a lot of them were sick and dealing with flu and a sickness. Did you hear about that? The Pats actually flew 2 different planes.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they flew 2 different planes. They had one plane full of sick players and the other plane full of healthy players.
Wow.
Like that is crazy. I don't think I've ever heard of something like that before.
I haven't.
But yeah, I think they're coming off a really big win against the Patriots. Hopefully, they don't get too high off of it. The Broncos weren't looking bad last week with Locke either.
No.
Cortland Sutton had that amazing
one-hand catch.
Yeah, diving one-handed catch. But
Yeah.
I don't think that the Broncos are gonna pull a back-to-back. I think Houston is gonna go ahead and do what they need to do.
Without question, yeah.
49ers at the Saints.
This is a big game. Especially after what happened last week with the Niners. I mean, if you look at the whole NFC playoff picture, it's a dogfight, man. I mean, the Niners literally overnight went from 2nd seed to 5th seed in the NFC after losing one game, and they're 10-2. So it's going to this stretch is going to be big. For San Francisco, Seattle, Green Bay, all these teams in the hunt in the NFC. I mean, you literally can't lose. I mean, the playoffs have already started in the NFC. It started last week. So, New Orleans is going to be another tough test. It's going to be another tough test. They got a lot of weapons over there that the Niners should be worried about. I mean, Michael Thomas, Kamara, Breeze, Ginn, Cook. I mean,
Cook's been balling.
Yeah, he had a few drops last week that he probably wish he could have back. But all in all, I mean, they're a dangerous team, and that defense is balling out. So, but the thing that benefits the Niners is they're not dealing with a quarterback that could run around and, make plays like Lamar, like Kyler Murray, and like Russell Wilson. Those are the teams that gave the Niners the most problems this season. So they're dealing with a quarterback that's a statue in the pocket, which I fully expect that D-line to get the tee off.
Not if they put Taysom in there.
That's an interesting wrinkle. That'll be interesting to see, to pay attention to see if New Orleans does do that a little bit more this week. I know they sprinkle them in like here and there, like around the goal line. They did a lot on
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so that's a good point to bring up. That'll be interesting to see if they do that. But if they go more so with Breeze, I fully expect the Niners to just tee off. That D line is just, you can't block that D line. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. So
you can't go Mike.
But if you can't get it off, you can't make the play. So I'm rolling with the Niners. In a close one this week. I feel like the Niners lost last week by a field goal. I think this week the Niners win by a field goal. So I think the Niners will get a late second field goal to get out of there with a much needed win to set up a tough race and set up a huge game at the end of the season with Seattle. So I'm rolling with the Niners to beat New Orleans this week.
New Orleans is playing for a lot right now. I'm going with New Orleans.
Ooh.
just to get that out the gate.
Ooh.
They played lights out last week against Atlanta, and you seen what Atlanta did to them at home a few weeks before that. So they were basically on a revenge tour on Thanksgiving. Lattimore, let's say Marshawn Lynch. Lattimore is back. I know he was taken out one or two times on Thanksgiving, but there's been no real big issues that have been coming down about him. I mean, he can lock up Emmanuel Sanders, no problem. And you have Cam down there. He's nasty on that D line. It's Breeze we're talking about. This isn't. I mean, I put Breeze slightly ahead of Rodgers. But you have better targets when it comes to your running back, when it comes to your receivers, and your tight end overall to do dumps downs. You have Hill, so I'm going with New Orleans.
Okay, we'll see.
Bengals at the Browns.
Cincinnati needs this win. Their head coach is Freddie Kitchens, right? What he did last week was probably the worst thing I've ever heard of a head coach ever doing. Coming out to the game with, I believe he either had a shirt or I think he had a jacket and he had a shirt. I forget what was on the shirt. I guess it said like beat Pittsburgh or something like that, or free somebody, right? I don't know what it was, but it had to do with the whole event that happened a few weeks ago. And it's ridiculous, man. It's like, to me, if you're a head coach, don't be petty. You know what I mean? Be above that. And for like the whole team or players on the team to come out and wear that, especially the head coach, that's the reason why they lost the game. So it's just ridiculous. But Cincinnati, I'm glad Cincinnati got a win last week. Andy Dalton, he should have never been benched. He should have been playing this whole time. He's the best quarterback on that team. I don't know what they're going to do going forward, but and I believe AJ Green might play this week. I hear that it's in the realm of possibilities that he may play. So I'm not too sure, but
we'll see.
But I expect Cleveland to win the game. Cincinnati is just a porous team. Cleveland better win the game. If they don't win the game, then they don't deserve to even be talked about in the playoffs. So.
You can't trust Cleveland. Now, I understand, Freddie wants to be known as the player's coach. He wants to have that love and that respect in the locker room, but to me, that's not a way that you go ahead and you do that because you're not setting yourself up as a leader.
Right.
You're being more of a yes man at this point.
Right.
To me, you can't really trust Baker. I don't see him as even a top 12 quarterback this week. I want to pick an upset, and I want to go with Cincy.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I trust that Cleveland running game. Chubb leads the league in rushing.
That and they have Kareem Hunt too, but
I think they're going to get off this week.
I can't trust Cleveland.
Okay.
Panthers at the Falcons.
Panthers at the Falcons. Carolina's they're playing with the interim coach. Atlanta's the home team, so I guess I'll roll with Atlanta. There's nothing much more I have to say about this game, but I'll roll with the Falcons.
DB coach is now the interim coach for Carolina. I don't see Matt Ryan getting sacked 9 times like he did on Thanksgiving. I don't see him fumbling 2 times with 1 recovery, and I don't really see him throwing 2 picks. So he may have some of those numbers in there, but I don't see these astronomical numbers against a quarterback like it was last week. I like Atlanta in this one. I think they're getting back on track this week against Carolina. I mean, it's a division game. Both these teams aren't playing for much right now.
No, they're not.
At this point. So yeah, but I'm going with the home team, man. I'm going with the Falcons. Julio's back.
Okay.
Yeah, and Austin Hooper. Oh, my fantasy loves it. Fantasy loves it.
Dolphins at Jets.
Jets are a bad football team. But Miami got a big win against Philadelphia. Something I didn't expect it, and I think on last week's episode I picked Philly to win. But this week I'm gonna roll with Fitzmagic. He's been playing well. He got all the receivers involved. If he stays on that going up train on that roller coaster, they should be fine. And they're good enough to beat the Jets. So I'm gonna roll with Miami.
There's a roller coaster, man. There's no Balaj. Running game is not really going to be there. Really wasn't there before, but now you really don't have Balaj in your backfield. Parker went off. I'll give it to you 100%.
Yeah, Parker.
He had some amazing catches that I just looked at like that should have easily. That fell on the DB.
Yeah.
More than anything.
He did his thing.
But the Jets, I mean, the Jets have been doing their thing. I would say they're on more of an upward tick. You have Robbie Anderson. He's more in a rhythm with Donald than he was before. He's that deeper threat. Crowder is not really. I mean, he's Crowder at the end of the day. So you still have Le'Veon. You have Griffith back there that's doing good things at the tight end spot. Darnold's not seeing any ghosts anymore. So. I'm going with Benny and the Jets, man.
All right.
Sammy and the Jets.
Chargers at the Jaguars.
These two teams I feel like they're both like they stand in the mirror and they see themselves. So this one is actually interesting. And the thing about the Chargers, and I've kind of been watching this for the past few years, is that I don't think I've ever seen a team lose more close games than the Chargers.
I think, there was a stat I think they said about it when they lost last week.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just this year. Like this goes back like 3 years ago. Like these dudes lose close games every week, and I'm just like I don't know how these guys like have the blood pressure to go through it. Like every week, like if you look at their last games for the past 3 weeks, it's all been nail biters, and they've lost every single one of them. And I mean, to be honest, that's kind of what Rivers' career has been. It's been a Hall of Fame career, but I mean, the guy he can't catch a break at all.
He puts himself in that situation, though.
He does. Jacksonville, they're benching Foles. So they're going back to Minshew Mania. Jacksonville's at home. I mean, so that counts for something.
Bring back the stash.
I'm going with Jacksonville in a close one.
Nah, I'm going. I'm going Chargers. They're the better football team on paper. Minshew does have that nice connection with Chark, but I Derwin is back, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I don't see the Chargers not winning this game.
A close one or what?
I would say 6 points.
Okay.
6 points.
One possession game.
Yep. Oh, always. It's the Chargers.
I bet you Vegas loves them.
Chiefs at the Patriots.
This is between the Niners and New Orleans game and this game, the Chiefs and the Patriots. Those two games are probably going to be your games of the week. The Chiefs destroyed the Raiders last week. They destroyed them. Like, the Raiders didn't even show up. And then the Patriots had a tough loss against Houston. It seems like the Chiefs are just getting healthy around the right time. I know Damian Williams is out, but they got Sammy healthy. They got Tyreek healthy. Mahomes is back. This is going to be a big game. I feel like this game is bigger for the Chiefs than it is for the Patriots, because the Patriots, I mean, you could write them in pencil or pen, whatever, to make the playoffs every year. The Chiefs, they kind of started off slow. They were losing some bad home games, so now they kind of gotta get on track. And they're a dark horse Super Bowl team that people, I think, forgot about. But if they start getting hot, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs go into Baltimore and beat Baltimore, or go into New England and beat New England. Like, this team is, I remember last year, I mean, they were pretty much one play away from the Super Bowl last year. So, and it's crazy, like, when a year comes full circle, they were pretty much Super Bowl favorites to now they're a dark horse, So it's crazy to just see how a season pans out. But I'm gonna roll with I'm gonna roll with Mahomes, man. I think they'll do enough to win the game. The Patriots are always tough to beat in Foxborough, but they have some real issues on the offensive side of the ball. Like, Brady just doesn't have any weapons. So I'm gonna go with Mahomes with some late game magic, with Tyreek to stick it to the Patriots and get a much needed win.
I'm going. We're all kinds of opposites this week. I'm going with New England.
Okay.
Belichick is really good at taking away your offensive weapons. At this point, the only thing that they essentially have to game plan for when it comes to this Kansas City team is the pass. There's Kelsey and there's Tyreek. They have no backfield like that. Damien is out. Shady is. I don't even think he's playing this week.
Is he hurt? I know he played last week.
But I don't think he's playing this week. So you have Derwin that may go ahead and play, but Sammy Watkins since week 1 has been a disappearing act.
Yeah,
he's nowhere. It's almost like they're gonna want to get beat by Sammy Watkins,
right?
Because I think he only had like a few targets last week.
Yeah.
And they were playing the Raiders, so I mean, you have a good backfield with Sony. James White went off last week.
He did.
Sony didn't really do too much, but James White did.
Yeah.
You still have Edelman. So N'Keal Harry did his thing 2 weeks ago with his first career touchdown. So I'm going with the Pats on this one.
I hear Kansas City signed Spencer Ware.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll sign him to the practice squad.
Yeah, bringing him back.
Mm-hmm.
Titans at the Raiders.
The Raiders need this game if they want to stay in playoff contention. The Raiders, everything was all fine and dandy, was all blue skies, sunny skies, until they rolled into the Jets game, into the Meadowlands, and they got destroyed. So, they're back at home. They're in Oakland, so I guess that's a good thing for them. But Tennessee, man, they're they're looking like a team to be reckoned with,
They're in the
especially
hunt.
especially with how Derrick Henry's been playing. I mean, the guy is just, to me, he's turned his whole career around. Like from where he started to where he's at now, it's like, dude is a top 5 back in the NFL right now. He's playing that well, and this is like an era of the NFL with legitimate running backs. So, I say that with high praise. Like Derrick Henry is really balling right now. And I expect him to go in there and beat up on the Raiders. Like, they're going to give the ball to Derrick Henry, and the Raiders can't do nothing about it. And that's the sad thing about it is the Raiders and Gruden, they know what's coming, and they're not going to be able to stop Derrick Henry. So I'm rolling with Tennessee, big.
I'm rolling with Tennessee also. I mean, Tannehill, it's crazy that this dude, I mean, he was on the Dolphins. It didn't really do much. You know, he was signed on. No one really expected him to do too much, but other than just be a backup. But this dude is putting in work. You know, he has these guys looking like they are really in playoff contention.
Yep.
Like they are really in the hunt. Derrick Henry has been just everything that he should have been, you know, in years past. So I'm going with Tennessee on this one as well. Not going to say big, though. But I got Tennessee.
I'm taking them big, big, big.
Steelers at the Cardinals.
Arizona, they kind of like crapped the bed yesterday. I mean, on Sunday. Like, I didn't expect that from Arizona. I mean, there was a point where I looked at the score and it was like almost a fourth quarter and they were getting shut out. I have a lot of respect for Kyler Murray. To me, he's real deal. He's legitimate. In a couple years, he's gonna be a household name. The guy has ultra talent.
He was dealing with a hamstring issue, though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. But the Rams, they really beat up on him. They really beat up on him. But
They were making up for that Baltimore game.
yeah, they was, and they were embarrassed in that Baltimore game. But I'm a roll with Arizona. I think they'll get back on track. Arizona's a sneaky good team. They're like another team. They kind of remind me of Tampa Bay. You really don't know what you're going to get week to week, but I like Arizona to win this week.
Nah, Arizona's going to lose. You know, Kyler's not doing well. Well, I'm not going to say he's not doing well. He's not 100% with that hamstring injury. You know, this Cardinals defense is not the best. You know, there is no Juju this week. James Conner's kind of questionable. But this Arizona team is poor when it comes to guarding tight ends. I'm not saying Vance McDonald is just, you know, a Gronkowski or a Travis Kelce, but, you know, you had Higbee last week go off.
Yeah, that guy went bananas.
He went ahead and I think matched his whole career up until that game. He matched his yardages and everything just on that one game by half. So he did half his whole career in that one game against this Cardinals defense,
Which is crazy.
It's nuts because
Yeah.
you know, I mean, he's only like a 2 or 3 year guy, Higbee. I think he's 3 year.
Something like
but
that.
for you in one game for you to go ahead and match almost what you did in your whole career is just crazy.
It is. It really is.
You know, you have Duck Hodges behind center. I just that Pittsburgh defense is still nice. So I'm going with Pittsburgh on this one.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin, possibly up for Coach of the Year if he could get him in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Definitely should be in a consideration for Coach of the Year. Great job he's doing this year.
Seahawks at the Rams.
That brings me to my upset pick of the week. I'm gonna roll with the Rams. I know. I put my faith in the Rams 2 weeks ago, and they just did me dirty.
no, the Ravens showed you what they was really about.
But luckily, Seattle's not as good as the Ravens. I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm taking the Rams to win this game. The Rams. A lot of people are still sleeping on the Rams. The Rams are still a good football team. I mean, let's not forget this was a team that was in the Super Bowl last year. You know, they didn't show up, but you know, you still got Gurley, you still got Darnold. I mean, you got Ramsey now. You know, so they're still in the hunt to make the playoffs. I mean, the NFC West can get 3 teams in the playoffs. It's happened before. So I'm a roll with the Rams to get this win. As long as they feed Gurley, they're going to be a team to be dealt with, especially come playoff time.
But against this Seattle defense, you
taking-
got Clowney that goes to town.
They gave up. Remember, they gave up last week like 30 points at home in Minnesota.
Yeah, but you're putting Cook on the same spectrum now as Gurley this season.
No, I mean Cook's having a better year than Gurley, but Gurley's no slouch. We know
He's not a slouch, but he's not a Cook this year.
No, without question, he's not. He's not. But I like him this week. I think they're going to feed Gurley, get him involved, get him in the screen game, get him at least 20 to 25 carries, carry him to victory. That's their ingredients to winning is feed Gurley. So I think they're going to get him involved, and they're going to get a big win. They're going to get a big win, and they're going to knock off Seattle.
I trust in Big Russ, man.
Are you saying Big Truss or Big Russ?
Big Russ. Russ. No, don't disrespect Truss like that. I got Seattle. They're playing with a purpose right now. You know, they're not number one in the division.
They are now.
They are now because they did end up beating the Vikings.
And they got the head-to-head with the Niners.
And they still got the Niners upcoming, which will be an interesting game because Kittle will be back this upcoming game, but it's in Seattle. But right now they need to rack up all these wins that they can.
Yes,
because
sir.
this playoff hunt in this division is thick.
It is.
So they need to go ahead and pull out another win. I think Russ can go ahead and do it. I know Lockett was dealing with being sick last week. So that's why they didn't get too many production points out of him. I need him to be locked down this week on Jalen for fantasy purposes. But I do trust in Russ. Rashad Penny was looking nice last week too. Carson was as well. So I'm going with Seattle.
And for our final pick, the New York Giants versus Philadelphia Eagles.
Monday Night Football game. So little brother Eli Manning's back.
Little bro.
Which is kind of I'm like really curious to see this game. If Danny Dimes was playing, I'd have been like, oh, it's just a basic Monday night game. You know, like I don't really care. But seeing Eli on the field, man, it really makes me want to watch the game. You know what I mean? Like and people that know me, you know, I have a little affinity for Eli. You know, I like Eli, man. Eli, a lot of people bang.
Eli's his guy.
I like Eli, man. I know you look at his numbers, you look at his wins, and it doesn't pop out to you. A lot of people bang on him. But, you know, if you look at his career and what he's done on the field, the guy's clutch, and he just has big wins, you know. So I'm excited to see Eli, to see if he still has any life in him. To see if he could continue his career outside of New York with another team. But when it comes down to the game, this is a big game for Philadelphia. I'm a root for Philly because I'd rather Philly make the playoffs than the Cowboys. If you've been watching the show, you would know that. But I'm a roll with if this game was in New York, I would say the Giants, just because of the whole Eli coming back, and it'll probably be a nice little environment to see. It'd be like a raw type of game. But since it's in Philadelphia, I'm gonna roll with the Eagles to get the dub. They need this one.
Yeah, after being embarrassed last week by the Dolphins,
right?
You know, Alshon is back. He showed you last week he's healthy. That dude balled out something tremendous. So I'm going on the bounce back game with the Eagles as well.
Filet
will slay. So thank you guys for tuning in to Week 14 predictions, another segment of At the Office. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on all of our social medias. Real At the Office for Instagram and Twitter. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you guys want to go ahead and see in upcoming segments. Let us know what your picks are for this week and why. We will go ahead and catch up with you guys later, but please go ahead and check out our friends over at Red Pill Station. They are on YouTube and they are also on Instagram as well. Check them out. Drop them a like and a subscription on YouTube as well. But from everybody here at the office, happy Week 14, everybody.